Hello, everyone. How you doing? That was that, that was a tough one. That was a tough match. I feel good. I'll be honest, guys. My stomach hurts today. Like my stomach hurts after that game. I was stressing during that game and anxious. It was really rough. And all the corners, all the everything going on in that game. Really poor, but Benji, look, we said when we started this, it's an obvious mistake. Play Benjamin Sesko. And we come to this after the game, and I'm telling you, Michael Carrick, please, brother, my friend, Michael, I'm on my knees. Play Benjamin Sesko. Please, God, play Benjamin Sesko. Please. Put him up top. There is no reason not to. There is absolutely no reason that he shouldn't be up there. Let Mbumo or Ahmad or whoever's on the right sit out wide in that open space, in that clean air where they're getting one-on-one. Because 60 minutes of watching Mbumo run into Tarkovsky and Keane was absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. Okay, it was miserable. It was you got to give Mbumo some credit here. Okay, he works his ass off every game so much, playing in a position that just isn't his right now. Okay, and the minute he gets out wide, he gets some open space, he turns, makes a nice layoff for Sesko, who wins it. Play your striker. Second thing I gotta say, of course, is Senna Lammens, man. Senna Lammens, what a player. Transformative signing. You want to talk about just getting it right? Absolutely transformative signing, Senna Lammens. He has absolutely changed our lives. What a keeper. What an absolutely unbelievable keeper he is, dude. Set pieces, open play, distribution. He's so good, man. What an unbelievable 35th best signing of the summer, according to The Athletic. Take that and shove it up your Athletic. I don't know what that means, but it sounded good, right? 35th. He's top. He should be in the top 3. And he ain't number 3. 21 million for that. Maybe it's less, 21 million for that level of keeper, considering what we had in Onana and Bayindir prior to this. Holy shit, man. He ain't number 3. That is maybe the best value for money signing that has happened in years. Maybe one of our best value for money signings ever. Not even being dramatic. When you look at the price, the improvement that he gave us to what we had before, we wouldn't be sniffing top 4 without Lammens. You think about the start of the season with Bayindir, every corner was like a fucking disaster waiting to happen. Every corner was attacks. Every corner was like potentially a goal. We were like closing our fucking eyes, stressing every time there was a set piece or a corner. You know what I mean? And yeah, you got to give him some major credit there. Let's see. We've got some chats in here. Oh, they're flying in. Wait, are these old? Oh, now I'm confused. These are old. Whoa. All right, here we go. A special mention. Is this from the last game? No. This thing's confusing me. Where were we? Where the hell? Where was the first one here? Sorry, all these donations and things, for some reason it's lumping them with everybody else. Oh yes, I got another good image to share. All right, nice. Thank you for that, MPDG, as usual. All right. All right, let me add these. Let me get to a couple of chats here. I no longer feel anxious about our goalkeeper. Yes, 100%. Lammens is the best signing in years. Also, Darren England is the worst ref in the Premier. He's letting the crowd influence decisions. Oh, I think the reffing was poor. I don't think it was particularly poor against us. I think in general it's just a mess. And we have this problem on corners where it feels like they won't do fucking anything. Like, it's just a disaster of players running into each other. Another Scholes apology needed for Lammens. You're not wrong, right? Again, Scholes, like, I don't know who this guy is. He cost 21 million. He can't be that good. Come on, man. Like, what are you doing here? Like, Scholes, man, it's time to retire from the pundit game. Carrick understands some away games. You got to get your goal and get the fuck out of there. Come on, GGMU. I mean, I don't know about that. I think that he got it wrong today. And we could talk about some of the issues. Cass poor second half. Bruno utterly abysmal all game. I don't. Some of that I agree with. Some of that I don't. Look, Carrick got it wrong today. Very, very wrong. And I'm a little worried, but maybe not so worried. We've got the players. Like I was saying against West Ham, we are playing a margins game, right? We're playing a margins game right now under Carrick against these smaller sides. We're playing within the margins. And what I essentially mean with that is within the margins that we're playing where we're hoping they make a mistake before we do. And they did. They made a mistake before we did. We were under a lot of pressure when we scored that goal, right? We finally got through because we had Sesko on. They were coming out. They were attacking us. And then we sucked them in and we hit them on the break. That's okay. Like, again, I'm good with that. But we all know that that's the only way we can win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way we consistently win is when we're sucking them in to beat them on the break. You know what I mean? That is, to me, a concern, right? That's a concern. That's what we got wrong today. We still haven't figured that part out, and that hasn't changed. We got beat in this game, but we sucked them in and then we hit them on the break in transition. But when they were setting up defensively, we were crap. And that's still our issue. If I was saying during the game, if you look at the possession, right? If you look at the possession stats, as the game went on, it went from us having more of the ball to them having more of the ball. And as soon as it was nearing that 50%, we're scoring, and it's like, that's just kind of how it is, right? We haven't solved that kind of problem as of yet. We desperately need a backup number 9 this summer. I agree as well. We should have started Sesko, had Ahmad off the bench, had a striker off the bench as well. Underlying numbers are way better than last week against stronger opponents. Lammens, Euro, Menu, Sesko, brilliant. Future is bright. Come on, United. I think I don't know about including Menu in there. He was not good today. But Casemiro was worse. So, Casemiro was, but no, and Menu was not good today. I'm not going to blame him for the game, but Casemiro and Menu as a partnership today were terrible. But look, the other ones, I agree. I wanted to give a definite shout out to Lenny Yoro as well. Okay. Because look, I asked for 2 things, Benjamin Sesko and Lenny Yoro. I'll tell you what worries me. Carrick wasn't going to change. He was not playing Yoro without that injury. And that's a big, big mistake. Big, big mistake. A big, big mistake. He wasn't going to play Lenny. Lenny was really, really, really good today. Make no mistake about it. In the first 60, 70 minutes, every time there's a counter on, Lenny's there cleaning it up. Every time, on the ball, he was shaky. Started off a little weak. Confidence wasn't there. All of that. But Lenny and Harry were doing really, 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 really well at dealing with the attacks coming back in our direction whenever we were going forward. They were stopping everything. They were shutting it down. Every time Everton were trying to counter us, we were shutting it down. Every time. Lenny did really, really well in that respect. That game would have been different. We would have conceded a lot more counters if not for Lenny in that game. The sweeping was tops. Yes, on ball, we're giving up something, but he's young. He's got time. You can see the confidence on the ball is an issue, but again, this is why I'm looking at it and saying, Euro there, you got to keep Maguire on, because those 11 corners we're conceding. Lammens did great, don't get me wrong, but all those corners, Maguire, man, that's why you have him. And I think that Maguire and Lenny probably make our best partnership for now, because I know we don't have enough with the ball, but you're going to have to figure that out another way, because we need that pace, right? We need that pace at the back to clean up the counters. We need the aerial presence of Maguire. And I think Lenny did pretty well in that sense too, not poor. You need that. We can't give either one of those things up or we're in trouble. That's my sort of concern, but he's young. He's got to keep playing. But if you pair Lenny with a physically dominant center back like Maguire, who's a bit more pacey, I think you've got a dream partnership. And I'm just going to make one suggestion. I know he should have been on a yellow, and he got burned once, and he should have been on a yellow. But Gerard Braithwaite did a great job against us today. He's had some tough games against us, but as a fast, physical, flexible defender who was playing at left back today, he was shutting us down for quite a long time. A lot of him and Garner playing us right back, they were snuffing us out for quite a long time there. I think that Braithwaite was quite good today. He's fast, he's physical, he can carry the ball, 2-footed. You partner Braithwaite with Lenny in the future, it's a partnership I'm revisiting. That's a partner. That's a player I'm revisiting. Is Braithwaite in summer? We need a center back. We need a top center back. Yoro and Braithwaite would be a dynamic partnership if Braithwaite could stay healthy. If Braithwaite could stay healthy, he could be tops. He's got so many good physical traits. If he can just stay healthy, man. There's a fucking center back in there. There's a serious talent in there. If he can stay healthy, he can be one of the best. He's so good physically. The pace, the speed, the play with the ball. He's really good. So yeah, I get the injury things, but again, he's a young player. He's big, he's tall, all of that. The injuries can happen. Those muscle injuries can happen. Hopefully that doesn't keep going for him and he has a good career, because I think he could be a really good player. All right, here's a couple of talking points, and then I want to look at some sort of the stats, because I made some notes on things. Because look, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good game. Happy with the win, happy with the 3 points, 3 points clear of Chelsea, 3 points clear of Liverpool, 3 points behind Aston Villa, 16 out of 18 points so far in the last 6 games. I'm happy. But physically, we were completely outmatched today. Number one, stop with the Mbeumo at striker thing. Stop. Just stop. We were completely outmatched physically today in a lot of positions. Stop putting Mbeumo up front. Stop playing him as a striker. Make them fight against Benjamin Sesko for starter. And look, I see people's opinion that he should stay as a sub for now, but I disagree. The game was bad. Like, that was not a winning game. That was not a good game from us, right? That was not good. That's a game, again, playing the margins. If you look at it, Mbeumo got 0 out of 2 duels, 1 on the ground. 0 out of 4 aerials. He won 0 out of 7 duels. You're asking him to sit up front and fight against Keane and Tarkovsky. There are a lot of really, really, really good defenders in the Premier League. A lot of really good defenders in the Premier League that are physical, that are fast, that are big. We are a better team when Sesko plays. And part of what was bothering me is that by the time Sesko gets on, we're getting outmatched physically so much elsewhere that they're running through us. And we get lucky, we get on the break there, but we needed to have a better game in general, right? We needed to have a better game in general. But for right now, we got the 3 points, but yeah, we could have conceded one little thing and it would have been different. Great result, but last 3 games show why Carrick shouldn't get the job. Too risk averse, doing the same things when clearly not working. Early sub at least. But look, here's the thing about that, right? We got to separate this out because yes, if we're talking about should Carrick have the job in the long term, you're getting a lot of doubts from these games, even though he's getting really good results right now. But don't forget the whole Solskjaer thing too on that front. That's where there's some similarities. It's 2 different discussions, right? Let's separate it out. We're getting some results. But I'm not seeing what is, we are getting, the performances are getting worse. That's just the facts. We're getting some results, but the performances are getting worse. It's dangerous to ignore that from a long-term perspective. So let's take Carrick right now and let's just judge him on results. That's what he's here to do. He's an interim head coach. He's here to help us get into the Champions League by the end of the season. On that front, it's working right now. Okay? And let's just leave it at that. Let's just take it for what it's worth and enjoy what we have right now. All I'm saying, I want to look at because we were stressing about it and we're too overthinking on that basis, right? Like we're thinking about every game about, well, what does this show for the long haul? Is Carrick the guy? Is all of that, right? He's getting results, but that doesn't mean it's getting better, right? It doesn't mean it's getting better. We're grinding them out at the moment. We have 1 game a week. It's the ideal situation. There's long gaps, but we are struggling in these games and the performances are getting worse. So what? Let's hope we can ride out the performances until the end of the season, win enough games to get into Champions League, and leave it at that for now. Let's make the coach decision. Stop judging every game through that lens. You know what I mean? Because if we judge everything through that lens, we're going to look for too many negatives. We're going to look for too many negatives, right? In the game, like the fact that, look, we found something that worked against City and Arsenal. He hasn't wanted to change it. It's been sussed out. Correct. It's been sussed out. Everybody can figure that out. The small teams can play us off the park with that. It is what it is. The only team in the league unbeaten in 2026. I like ugly wins, by the way. I'm not opposed to it. That's the point. Right now, we're trying to go to the end of the season and get Champions League. Let's just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. And look, some of the issues are purely player perspective. First of all, though, for one, physically we're beat. One of those things is Mbeumo up front. That's one. That's a mistake Carrick made. Big mistake. Fine. Correct it. Don't do it again. Get Sesko on the pitch, okay? Second, the midfield. It's not working against these teams. And I don't think there's necessarily a solution to it because you're going from, all right, well, what do? Do we put Ugarte on? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think anybody's sitting here going, well, that's going to be the solution, because we don't have one. We don't have a solution to the midfield getting bullied by 37-year-old Ghana Gay, just like the last time we played them. We got absolutely bullied in the midfield. That's going to keep happening. That's not going to change. there's no solution. There just isn't. So I ain't going to blame that on the coach because I don't know what you can do about it. But people need to accept reality on that. This midfield isn't good. You know, Mainu needs a ball buster next to him, a physical road runner athlete next to him who has a bit more quality. You know, he needs that because he was getting physically beaten. And I will say one thing that Carrick's got to change is the plan here has got to switch a little bit. Okay. One of the things I really don't like is we've essentially taken Bruno from being a deep sitter and turned it into a deep sitter playing with the ball, spraying it around to now Bruno's not even getting on the ball and Casemiro's just launching passes left and right. It was terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. It was a really bad game from Casemiro on the ball tonight. Like he was just smashing the ball first time randomly in every direction. Not good. Not good on that front. We shouldn't have the change in our plan shouldn't be to go from Bruno being deep in the 2, spraying the ball around to Casemiro being deep in the 2, spraying the ball around. We needed to play it more clever, cleanly get the ball out wide, stay wide, all of that. Okay. That's what we should have done. In that lacking width was a huge problem. Again, though, I still think that comes down to the player selection. We were having Bruno and Mbeumo up in the middle and Ahmad was constantly tucking in. I didn't get that. I don't know why we did that. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that's the way that we should be playing moving forward. Stop tucking in all the wingers. Ahmad's a winger. He's out wide. Let him stay out wide when he's on the pitch. Keep him out wide so he can get one-on-one against a fullback, one-on-one against the defender in open air, in open space, and stretch the pitch. We kept trying to force the ball through the middle the whole game when there was no space in the middle. Everton were doing exactly what West Ham did. They clogged the middle, and instead of stretching them and staying wide, we kept playing through the middle. And that's why we had no joy. We should have played wide. Just keep them out wide. Let them stay out wide. It was very intentional for Ahmad to constantly be flowing into the middle of the pitch. And it was a disaster. You know, we needed the width against these small sides. Sesko in the middle, get your Mbeumo out wide. We do have wingers. This idea like, oh, we sold all our wingers. No, we fucking didn't. We've got wingers. You know, put them out wide. I know the forwards, like, look, Cunha, Mbeumo, all of them, they look like they have a bad game. And then suddenly Sesko comes on. Mbeumo can receive the ball running one-on-one, not trying to compete with Tarkowski and Keane for headers all game. He brings it down, cuts it back. Sesko can beat his man. Cunha can hit the switch. And suddenly the three of them are involved in the goal. You know, that's what we needed. We should have stayed wide. We should have stayed wider. That was a concern. I don't like the fluid 3 thing for us. I just don't think it works against the small sides. It's a really good when there's lots of space. It's not it when you're playing against a deep block, you know? And again, but yet, like you're saying here, this is exactly the point. Everton started to believe they could win, and then we got them on the break, right? Our wingers were getting more out of defending than they were attacking today. That was where they were more noticeable. But the fluid front 3 thing, get the striker on and stick to your positions against defensive teams. Forget the fluid 3 thing when teams are clogging the middle. It just doesn't work. Again, margins football, you're betting on them to make a mistake before you do. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, look, aside from that, you know, it's okay. Let's look at some of the numbers. We won, you know, so it is. But if you look at, like, it's funny because you look at what happens. We have a bit more of the ball. And then as soon as they start getting possession consistently, we go and score, right? And that's the way. We weren't good up until that point. They had us in the mud, and that's how they wanted it. 0.41 expected goals on that. So if you look at the total here, we were below one. We're at 0.8, up until that point in time. And then we get our chances, but we were forced into 4 saves. They only had to make 1. 10 corners to 1. There was not that 4. They had more shots on target. Same touches in the box. If you look at the duels, they won more duels, won more aerial duels, dribbled better, passes in the final third, 162 for them attempted with 117 completed, 35 crosses. Thank God for Maguire and Lammens. 35 crosses out of them. We only had 6, or is it? Yeah, it's 6. 35 crosses. Like, that's a crazy, crazy number of crosses. 60 long balls. We were just hitting it over the top constantly. Did not like that. Again, second half, we got our couple chances on the break, but they were better than us in terms of performance. First half, it's not like they did much, but we were just pissed. We were just really poor. Like I said here, look, I get it. Dalot's supposed to be the wide guy. Shaw's supposed to be the wide, but why? Keep Ahmad out wide. Keep Cunha more out wide. Get your focal point in the middle and use Bruno as a floater. A lot of teams are going to do this to us. And when we play against a team like Crystal Palace, who are even better at defending deep, again, it's just why we have to sort this out, because it is a problem. And you do have to look at performance. Expected goals, those things, they're going to catch up with you. They do catch up with you eventually. They just do. I mean, stats, I know people downplay stats a lot, but they matter. Like I was saying about Brian here, he spent, look, if you look at the duels here, he's fighting Tarkovsky and Keane all game. All game. No, look, we box defended really well with Maguire, with Lammens, with them. That's one thing we're good at. That's why I want Maguire to play, but it was tough. Again, Ahmad, tough game as well. But like I said, I really just don't like the dynamics, because look at where Ahmad's passes are going. They're almost all backwards. They're almost all backwards. Like that isn't where I want him to be. I want him getting in, coming from here, whipping a ball into the box, cutting in, doing that. And the same goes for Mbumo. Like, this pass right here is where I want Mbumo to be making those. But we were struggling to get them on the ball. It was just tough. Maguire and Lenny, I thought, were fantastic today defensively. I mean, look at the duels for Maguire. 7 out of 9. Lenny, 2 out of 2 on the ground, 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries. Maguire, 10 clearances, 7 out of 9 aerial duels, 1, 2 out of 3. Like, this is good. But here's what I really liked as well. These interceptions and these tackles from Lenny up the pitch. That's what you want to see. Stepping up, clearing it, stopping the counter, shutting things down, defending up the pitch. That's good. These are good moments right there. The recoveries as well. Those are the times when he's shutting things down. Like I said, on the ball, a little sloppy. You want to do better than some of these, but he got better as the game went on. Maguire obviously takes a little more risks with his passing, but I thought we were lumping it a lot more forward. Casemiro, I mean, again, it's just it was a lot of risky passes, a lot of just lumping the ball forward. I don't know, man. The stats can say what they say. I know what I saw. Poor there. 3 out of 10 in aerial duels, dribbled past 3 times. Just a tough game, honestly. Like I say, Cubby's safe passing and all of that, but off the ball, I thought he was getting bullied today. No successful dribbles today. Ground duels, 4 out of 9. Not the best game from him, but kind of tough in that partnership, I'm going to be honest. And then Cunha and Bruno, I just think they didn't get much chance to impact the ball. I mean, look at how little Cunha's getting it. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough. But Lammens, Lammens. Lammens. What can we say about Senna Lammens? Oops. It's reloading on us here. Defending, goalkeeping, right? 4 punches, 2 high claims. That's our guy right there. Just good stuff, man. Just good stuff. What can you say about Senna? It's just class, just quality. Just absolutely quality. But yeah, look, I mean, when I look at it in general, and hey, here's the most important part we've got right now. This is all that matters this season. 4th place. 48 points. We're coming for Aston Villa. We're ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool. I think it's going to be Villa who drop in the end. I think it's going to be Villa who drop. Who are they playing next? They've got Wolves next. That's good for them. But then they have Chelsea and us in a row. I think right here, we catch Aston Villa. That's what I think. I think we'll catch Aston Villa right there. But hey, again, anyway, guys, look, we got the win. At the end of the day, and yeah, Chelsea's schedule, but it's pretty crazy too. But, you know, at the end of the day, look, we got the win. We got the 3 points. That's what we're here for this season. And I think with regards to Carrick, I think we've all seen quite a few like doubts, right? Quite a few things where we're going, the performances, the levels, it's getting shaky. It's getting a little bit shaky. Okay. It is. But we're staying a bit more defensively compact, right? It's a bit more conservative. Funny part about it is it's actually a little more defensive football than we were playing before. Not in terms of like, it's hard to describe it, but we are playing a bit more defensively, right? We're settling in to defend a bit more. When we play with the ball, it's usually more aggressive, but we're settling in defensively quite a bit at this stage, and that's fine. You know, we'll take that right now. We'll run with that right now. But for example, like, all right, here's some numbers. Okay. Since the City game, we are in the bottom 7. We're 13th in expected goals, chances created. All right. We're 13th in XG. And you could say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're winning 13 points. I know. It's fine for this season. For what we're doing right now, it's fine. If you don't understand that the performances matter, it's just the truth. And when you're looking at it from a long-term view, we've gone from the second best creative team in the league to 13th. It's a big drop-off. It's big. And it is worrying. And it is a bit of a concern. But we're the 3rd best defensive team at the same time. So we're staying in it. Right? That's okay. That's fine for what we're trying to do now. The discussion about the long term is a different topic. Our attacking has gotten significantly worse. Significantly worse, right? This is the last 5 games, right? We're 13th in creating 6.84 expected goals. If you go to the 5 games before that, let's see. Let's see what it was. I'm actually curious, to be quite honest, what it was before that. All right. Then we were not even amazing during that stretch, but we were actually better. Even our expected goals against was better, to be fair, but we were finishing under and we were conceding a few more. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, we're actually by the numbers. That's not counting City. I'm counting Arsenal forward. Arsenal, Tottenham, Fulham, West Ham, Everton. It's not exactly like a crazy stretch of teams. Our numbers are actually worse the last 5 games than the 5 games before that. That's just the truth. We don't have to like it. And that was with AFCON. We were missing AFCON. We were missing a bunch of players for AFCON and Bruno during that stretch. So you have to bear in mind, our numbers have gotten worse. Does that worry me? Yeah, it worries me. It does. In the long term, it worries me. If we play like we played again today, we'll drop points like we did against West Ham. We're not going to win every game playing like we did today. We don't have to win every game. We do have to be a bit better than we were today and we were against West Ham because the margins were very, very, very fine here, right? They were very, very fine, you know? So it's like they were fine and we got them sucked in and we scored on the break. I'm happy. Whatever we got to do to win some games to get into Champions League is fine, but don't confuse that with it being good enough for the future. I just mentioned the caliber. We played West Ham, relegation team. Fulham, 9th. Everton, what position are Everton? 12th. Like, it's not like we played a special Spurs, 17th, 16th. Like, we have played bad teams during this 5-game stretch. We have not. It's not like it's all been against good teams. Everton, West Ham, Spurs, Fulham. It's not this crazy run. It's 2 near relegation candidates in there. It's 16th, 18th, 9th and 10th. It's okay. It wasn't a particularly hard stretch of games. And I'm good with the results. These are the games we need to win. I'm happy. It's this exactly. We're winning. We're keeping defensively tight and winning by narrow margins. I get it. Right? It's fine. For what we're trying to do now, it's fine. But this is not something that gives us confidence that, it's all going to be good next year. Like, don't confuse grinding out the wins to get us into Champions League with that's the manager we're going to win titles with. They're 2 separate conversations. I'm happy with what Carrick is doing right now because he's taking the team we have today and we're winning points. Is it conducive to the future? I don't know. It's always a debate, but it's fine for right now to be winning games. It's fine. I'm happy with that. Again, it's kind of like this. Our stats under Amarim were good, but we're winning a lot more games now. What about if we can play well and win games? That's stage 2. And some of that is just purely personnel, But the job is different. Right? Carrick's job is not next season. It's not the future. It's today. He's a temporary coach. He's here to the end of the season. And on that, he's doing his job, which is to win games now. And I'm happy. But just don't confuse it because it is a different job when you actually have to build for the future. It's different, man. It's just different. You can't learn anything from such games. Building a squad is key here. Solid window, top proven signings. I feel we need a personality coach at United, all things considered. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I would agree with. It's time to admit that our fullbacks aren't good enough against a low block. Shaw and Dallow is the common denominator across all past managers. There was points Shaw was absolutely tops for other coaches, first season Ten Hag, stuff like that. But look, that is an issue. It is an issue. If they're going to be your width holders, then you're in trouble. I'd rather have our wingers be width holders, considering we have better players in those positions. But look, it's a balance. I'm just saying, it's hard. It's hard to measure. We can't play like this later. You know what I'm saying? But it's 2 different jobs. And I think we start separating that out from Carrick, because for Carrick, for the job of get us to Champions League this season, great job. There's some things he could improve. For the job of, are you showing something that says you should be the coach? I don't know. That's different. It's a different question. Arsenal grinding results, playing haram football. Yeah, but there's a difference. And if I don't know, man, you either get it or you don't on that front. You You either get it or you don't. It's not, if this was Arsenal's only top season, and look, if they don't win a title, I'd be replacing Arteta because their team is good enough. Arsenal are, if this season, let's just step back for 1 minute. If the top teams in the league this season weren't so shit, and I do mean shit, and Arsenal will probably still lose the title, the way that they're playing would be nowhere near it for the quality of their players. They should be playing much better than they are with 7 years under the coach's belt and all of that. I don't think what Arsenal are doing is a good example of something to match, right? They should not be winning the league. It's a huge indictment on the quality of the league that they are where they are with how poor they play football on a regular basis, right? But to be fair, they have high possession and a top defense, and that will keep you winning every game. We are having lower possession and decent defending. There's still a difference. They defend with and without the ball, but this ain't it. This ain't it. But Liverpool have been shit. I think City are probably still going to catch Arsenal anyway and beat them. But if you think back to like majority of the years, that's the standard we're aiming for, not Arsenal. You know what I mean? We can't be looking and saying, all right, Project 2028 is to be as good as Arsenal. Hell no. Fuck no. Sign me up for a different project. I don't want to be as good as Arsenal. I don't want to be as good as what Arsenal are doing right now. That's not my gold standard for this team. That's not my gold standard for football. That's not the quality we should be aiming for. Right? My gold standard is, my gold standard here is like, is some of the teams we've seen the last few years in terms of Liverpool and City and them pushing like the 90, 100 points, things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. So anyway, I just think that that's the standard, but for right now, we could just be happy. We can just be happy with what we're doing. We could just be happy with what we're doing and leave it at that. And we'll have a discussion for another day on the performances, on the statistics, maybe we'll show, maybe look, every game, it's game by game, right? Cause we were talking about before, it's part of the resume. I'm not making it. I don't think anybody should make a decision today. It's all a part of the resume. Maybe we go home to Palace next game, blow them away, dominant, attacking. We play better. We break through. We break down that low block. We smash them. They're not in great form. If you think about it, with the form that Palace are in, right? How many wins? How bad have they been recently? Palace are 9 points in their last 9 games. With the form Palace are in, at home, we should smash them, right? If we can do that, I'll feel a lot better about it. And I'll say that's another point. Look, like I say, it's all about, for Carrick in the long term, it's a resume, and that's a separate discussion to what we're trying to accomplish this season. I agree with this. Exactly this. I totally agree. We conceded more chances before with Amorim, and that's what we were not winning games. We would concede chances. We scored a lot of goals, but we conceded a lot of chances. So we couldn't get the 3 points. Now we're conceding fewer chances. We're set up more compact, more defensive, and then hoping we can get that goal. And it's right. And that right now, that strategy is working better. That's it. That's it. And I'm okay with that. Here's our numbers, by the way, graph. Thanks to MTDG for doing this again. Versus last season cumulatively. So I think we did beat, did we beat Everton away last season? I want to say we did, or maybe we got a draw. I think it was maybe as 1 point, but yeah, we're doing a lot better than last season. No. Yeah, it was 1 point last season. So it's going good. It's going good. We're still on the right track. We're still on the right track. Look, I understand this, but that's an argument you make when you're competing for league titles, not when you're struggling around 4th and 5th. The performances matter at that point. You can't play shit and win and win titles. You can play shit regularly and win and scrape your way into European competitions. You can. And that's what we're kind of doing, and I'm cool with it right now. You don't do this and win titles. I'm sorry, it's just not true. Any title-winning team had stretches of top performances for 10, 12, 15, 16 weeks. Yes, they'd have a few weeks. They'd have a few games like this here and there. They didn't have 20 of them. They didn't have 5 of them in a row, 10 of them in a row. It's just not the case. We did play poor games. I think it's very much overgeneralized how often you play bad when you're a title-winning team. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of bad games. You have them. You don't have tons of them. I'm not saying we're having tons of them. I'm saying that, we can't, like, it's not like you can just do that for the longest. But again, Carrick's here doing a job. Can't really blame Carrick or judge him because his target is Champions League at all costs. He's doing that. The way United is, the board need to develop the squad and I agree with all of that. And that's what I'm saying where when you're pointing out that, someone pointed out in the comments that we flipped it around. We can't dominate on both sides of the ball, but we've gone the other way. We're more defensively compact, and it's working to win games. I'm happy with that. I still obviously think, Sesko's got to start, keep Lenny going. There's a few things we can do to improve our margins, and make things better. But for now, it's fine for what we're trying to do. That's the reality of it. That's where we are. And look, the fact is that it has probably this has lower variability because you're talking about you're playing with fewer variables, I guess, by playing defensive football. So it can work. We have enough talent. You have to dominate the press, counter press while creating superior chances to the one you concede. Yeah, agreed. Look, this season, for the rest of the season, the points are all I really care about. I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to be thrilled that we won a game. Every time we win, I'm going to be thrilled. If this was our 10th game of the season, 12th, and we had our permanent manager installed, it would be a game we'd worry about. We did worry about games like this. We did worry about scraping wins. We did worry about tight games. We did worry about them. And we worried that what did they imply for the future and all of that when we had a permanent manager in place. We don't have to worry as much right now, but I think it's just important that they read into things properly on what it all means in the long term. But as long as we keep doing this, it's great. And one thing we gotta be super positive about is the signings. If it's not for Lammens, we don't win. If it's not for Cunha, Sesko, and Bumo, we're not winning these games. Every single game, they're making huge impacts on the team. Every single game, they're being difference makers in this, right? And so we can stay compact and rely on the quality of our players to win these games. And they're doing it right now. And if we do more of that, we'll just get better. Second half concerning. Why was ball retention so poor? Decent side beats us today. We'll catch up if we don't fix. Not guaranteed. And look, that's true as well. I think we've got to play better, right? I think we've got to play better. I think we've got to play better moving forward to end the season than we were before, than we have in this game in order to get it over the line in Champions League, because there's going to be games. There's going to be a lot of games where we just don't get it. There's going to be a lot of games where we just don't get there. But for now, it's okay. I mean, in every game by game, we learn. Right. I think that's where there's in the back of your mind, everybody's kind of worried. Is Does this earn Carrick the job? Should it? It's not a convincing case. You know what I mean? But wins are wins. But again, it's like here's the reason why you have to be wary though. I get the 3 points thing. Solskjaer came in and won how many games in a row? How many points early on? And then look at how we ended the longer it went on, right? In that same season. Forget the future. In the same season, he came in and won a bunch of points, tons of games in a row, and then it plowed into the ground. It's like you can come in and win a bunch of points, and it doesn't mean you're going to win points in the future. It doesn't mean that. The performances had started to stumble before we started losing games under Solskjaer. And then we ended the season winning 2 out of 10. It was dreadful. It was really bad. Some of the worst performances we've seen. It was awful, you know? So it's not blaming the coach and it's not making it something that it isn't. But just winning games doesn't actually mean every problem has been solved. It never has. Those problems sometimes return. You know, Ten Hag won a bunch of games with Rashford in that season 1. And at some point it switched and we started getting worse and worse. It does. It just game by game, performance by performance. Let's just see how it goes. I agree. We're seeing those trends now. We got to turn it around. We're getting down to a bad stretch. Isn't that down to more of the player's psyche rather than the coach? Maybe. The thing, Kwesi, there is that it's hard to answer that question. We don't know definitively. This is where stats come in, right? Again, when you go from second best chance creation team in the league to 13th, why? When you go from a team that was like, there's tangible differences. We were playing wide, right? Under Amram, 3-4-3, we go wide. Yes, that meant we were more open defensively, but in the attack, we were stretching teams out, means we can create more chances. So we go to a more compact thing. What happens if Maguire goes down with injury? Maguire was injured for a good 2 months there during Amram's tenure when we had sort of our worst stretch. What happens if Maguire picks up an injury for 10 games? Suddenly your plan doesn't work anymore because it's predicated on you having a mountain of a man who dealt with 35 crosses from Everton tonight. You know what I mean? That's why when you're playing in a it's a squad issue, but it's like there are issues. I think Lissandro getting injured played into our hands because we needed Lenny tonight. You know what I mean? But if you lose Maguire, this plan isn't going to work anymore. That's my biggest fear for the end of the season. If you bench Maguire, we lose. If Maguire gets injured, we lose. We can't deal with a lot of the stuff that's going on. We will lose. So we'll worry about it. But look, I get it, overanalyzing and all that. But look, we've had one game in 13 days. What the hell else? There's nothing else to talk about. So we're going to analyze and overanalyze and overdiscuss and wonder until we play the next game. And that's how it works. And that's the beauty. That's kind of the joy of the game. You know, there's pluses and minuses to all of it. But in general, we're playing different, but it's okay. I'm cool, man. I'm cool with the team. And again, one thing that I got to give credit to, and I got to say still, is that we're still not quitting in games for the most part, you know, and that's been a theme all season. I don't care who's at the helm. I'm not seeing quit. I'm not seeing them give up. I see guys like Cunha, who not having the best game, comes out with the smashing, cross switch over that creates that goal. but does insane amounts of defensive work as well and never stops. And the game management from him at the end was as good as ever. You know, Cunha had 7 ball recoveries. He's winning tackles. He's winning duels. He's fighting every second of the game. You know, and it's like, I'm happy with those things. There's a lot of good things. Our player quality is getting better and better, and it's going to carry us because we have a team that's good enough to get over the line with this. We fix it in the summer even more with midfielders, with all of that. It's going to be even better. But there's things to worry about. There's things to think about in this game, in the future that are going to be worries until the next game and we see how we perform. Because right now there's still a lot of unknowns. And we've seen 5 games of Carrick ball, keeping the same thing, doing the same thing. And it's not working necessarily as well. You still have to adjust to try to figure out what is struggling and what you can do to make it better. Because if you stay stagnant, you do have danger of devolving. You know, things don't stay the same. If you keep doing the same thing and the performances get a little bit worse, there's a point where it flips. There is a point where it flips, and then you start losing and you have no way out of it. You've got to still always be trying to improve, not stay the same, not just keep doing something just because of the result, because sometimes the result, you know, there's a lot of fine margins. That's what Ollie said. So it's cool though. Again, like I said, I'm cool with it, and we'll go game by game, and that's all that we have to worry about at the moment. And as long as if we can keep picking up points to stay ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea, then so be it. But I do think there's things we can improve with what we have. Number one, same as we started this week, play Lenny Oro. He's got to stay in there so we can stop the counters. Number 2, get Sesko on the pitch. There's this too, exactly, Shatters. You're totally right here, right? It's if you keep players in who aren't playing well, people start questioning. Like, I love Ahmad. What case does Ahmad have to keep starting right now? I'm not saying that he shouldn't earn his place back into the side, or he can't. What case do you have to have him keep playing week in and week out right now over a Sesko? You know what I mean? Maybe you could bring it out for a position, but not Sesko. Lenny. And I'm going, well, defensively, Lenny is stopping the counters. He's allowing us to commit men forward. Game. What happens? You go bench him now after a clean sheet away, where you try and fix things up a little bit. Like it's just there's questions to be asked. Yeah, but it's all good, man. I mean, it's a good win. I'm happy. Stressing and miserable about winning the 3 points. Let's just hope. How long till we can fix our problems? January, not buying better players, not stretching, maybe overpaying for somebody. As we said, we think that they can ride this out. I think it's teetering. If we do lose a game, some swings the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my only concern. That something goes wrong and then suddenly the momentum all shifts the other direction and the wheels fall off. You know, like that's what happened with Solskjaer when he came in. It was like the good vibes, the feeling. Like, I was seeing the articles. I'll tell you what bothers me a little bit, what scares me. I'm seeing the articles before the match, right? I'm seeing the articles before the match. Oh, Carrick's more approachable. Oh, they've got a day off now. Oh, they were able to train to Dubai. Oh, it's lit. And then I go, all right, you can all sit there and go, this is good now. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but you can sit there and go, it's good. It doesn't look to me like the days off, the trips to Dubai helped them play any better. They played like shit. They were sloppy. You know, they were undisciplined today. They were poor. A lot of players were poor. And I go, well, maybe we shouldn't be jumping all over the train of praising like that our discipline standards have gotten more lax. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I'm not sure that like, well, Carrick's more friendly. Like, I'm not blaming Carrick. I'm saying that quickly turns into the opposite as soon as things don't start going well. You know, it's like contracts, right? They get a contract and they fall off a cliff. Like, it's contract year. Like, I started seeing those things before the game, and I got this morning when I woke up, I was reading those and I was just like, this is just more like of this thing where there's this obsession with trying to now, but then we played shit, and then we were sloppy, and we had 2 weeks to prepare, and I'm going, so it hasn't made much difference then. And I go, I'm not saying it's just noise, that kind of like if shift things go the other direction, you know, it is what it is. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. Fair to win it. But of the season will be we you know, if we can make a big off some games and we screw it up, we'll be, you know, as long as we do it. But I think yeah, it's still lagging a little. I'll probably end it because for some reason I'll tell you something weird. The viewer count keeps jumping by like 400 and then going down. It feels like it's getting like, it's almost like a DDoS on the stream. Like the viewer count on my side is showing this huge spike and then drop, and then huge spike and then drop. And I'm talking like to big numbers. So I don't know, something weird going on there with YouTube. So I don't think that's on my side. I think it's YouTube, something odd going on there. It went down last week randomly at night. Yeah, it's not my fault. Everything on my side is good. It's showing me my upload speeds. Everything's connected. It's YouTube. Strange. But I was noticing that because the view counts is going like 600 to like 1200 to like 1600 to like 800. It's bouncing all over the place. Very weird. That's a YouTube thing. Totally my fault. Anyway, it's fine though. While I've got you guys, it seems like it's a good point to end it. We've been an hour. Like I said, it's a weekday evening game. I'll be back tomorrow with a live either way, so don't worry about that. But yes, thank you guys all for hanging out today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll catch up on things later. I'll do the tactics video in the morning, and then we'll get back tomorrow in the afternoon and all of that. Okay. Thanks for hanging out today. Appreciate you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll get callers in. We'll get callers in at the weekend or something like that. But yes, I'm sorry later on. I'll try maybe a little later in the week. We'll do callers. Maybe I'll do an extra one to get callers in. Okay. For some of you guys, maybe tomorrow afternoon, we'll do an extra one and we'll do callers. Okay. Thank you guys. Hit a like on the video on the way out. I don't want to do callers now because I'm having issues and it'll just be a mess if it goes in and out. I don't want to test my luck here. So, all right, let's end it there. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you again. Hit a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. 3 points for United. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll do much more on all of this. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. See you later. Enjoy your evening.